Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today we're going to talk about hybrid Feng Shui. Now, what is hybrid Feng Shui? Very simply put, it's Feng Shui that takes advantage of short-term energies. In period 9, as you know, and I've been talking about for a long, long time, the energies are much, much faster. We need to react faster to our environment. And so it's no longer really possible to just sit in one sector for at least 2 weeks out of a month, because a lot of us are traveling and a lot of us are or have become digital nomads over the past few years. And so hybrid Feng Shui tries to accommodate for these sort of circumstances where you're not always in the same location when you're working, but rather you take advantage of whatever it is available in your environment. And that does no longer require that you are in a specific sector for a particular number of hours or 2 weeks per month or whatever it is that we used to do in period 8, yeah, where everything worked a little bit slower and we had a little bit more time. Now in period 9, everything is sped up. So hybrid Feng Shui is for all those of you who don't necessarily work at an office. You change your work environment fairly frequently, or you travel a lot, and wherever you go, you need to find the optimum space for you to work in. So this is essentially what hybrid Feng Shui means. Now, in order to set this up for you, the first thing you need to do is plot your Bazi chart. So you can go to this link here that's on the screen, and I also posted in the description to the video. And at the top of your Bazi chart on the right-hand side, you will see this one here. Yeah, it's called the Life Star. It's also the Life Gua. And so just take note of the number. Yeah, you don't need to really understand the color or the element of it. Just take note of the number that you have here, right? So this one is the number 6. So that's Life Gua 6. So take note of that, because that determines which environment is best suited for you to work in. All right. So once we have determined our Life Gua, then we can look at this chart here. So what you see here is the Gua. So this is your Life Gua. So we were looking at the number 6 here. So you would look at this row here. Then we have a column that says creation. We have a column that says execution, and then we've got a column with environment. Now, I will go through each one of those columns one by one in order to explain what this actually means. We will start with the environment. So if you are Life Gua 6, then the best space to work on is an elevated space. Now, what does that mean? Basically means the higher up, the better. So if you go to a rooftop terrace to work in, that is great. If you work in a penthouse, if you have the luxury to do so, that is great for you. If you find a skyscraper with like a nice coffee shop fairly high up, this is a great work environment for you. And it doesn't matter how many hours you actually spend there, as long as it's high up, yeah, any sort of elevated space as high up as possible. Now, I can't tell you, okay, it has to be on the 2nd floor or the 10th floor, the 30th floor. Just try to get as high up as possible in the environment that you're in, without compromising comfort, yeah? So obviously it still has to be practical. You still need to be able to work from that space, all right? So anything elevated. Now, if you are Life Gua 1, then the best environment for you to work in would be a technology hub. So a place where you get a lot of, maybe a lot of technology startups, or an area where you have a lot of IT and technology companies. And so in that environment, there could be a coffee shop, or there could be a park even, or there could be an office, like a regular office, whatever it is, but you need to be surrounded by a lot of tech companies, tech entrepreneurs, and just generally a vibe of sort of like IT startups. Yeah, that would be the best environment, regardless of whether you are in that industry or not. Yeah, maybe you are in a completely different industry, but if you need to find an area to work in, then just find an area within a technology hub that you feel comfortable in. Yeah, that is the best energy for you. Now, if you are Life Gua 2, then any sort of bookstore is great for you. Yeah, bookstore or library, like a quiet sort of place, any place where there's sort of like an academic or a sort of like an intellectual vibe. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be literally a bookstore. Most bookstores don't allow you to just sit there and work, but if you have the option, then that's great. But as I said, libraries work, or just generally areas where people study. Yeah, this would be a great area for you to work in. Now, if you are Life Gua 3, fitness centers. Now, I know this sounds very funny because we don't usually go to a fitness center to work, but there are fitness centers or health centers where you have like a separated sort of like a coffee shop or a recreational area or anything like that. That would be very, very good for Life Gua 3 people to work in. It's the right kind of energy for them to really, really thrive. So any area where you have people working out, or where you have people taking care of their health through physical movement, this would be considered a good area. And of course, you're not going to sit down in the gym with your laptop to work, but find an area where there's a coffee shop that is maybe attached to a fitness center. Yeah. All right. Now, if you are Life Gua 4, then artisan cafes. So basically, artisan cafes could be sort of like artistic type of places. Yeah, not just a cafe. Maybe it's a lounge with classy music, or not just a general, not just a Starbucks. Yeah, a cafe that's a little bit different. Maybe plays jazz music, or some sort of place where you find a lot of artistic people. Yeah, this would be a place for you. Life Gua 6, we already discussed. If you have Life Gua 7, any sort of co-working space will work for you. So a co-working space, obviously, very often you have startups there. And that sort of energy really, really helps a Life Gua 7 person to become more creative and exchange ideas. So a co-working space would be great. Not so good for Life Gua 7 is a place where it's like totally quiet and you're just working all by yourself. That's not really all that helpful. So a co-working space would be good. Then for Life Gua 8, retreat centers. Now, this could also just be like a very relaxed space, like a healing space, like a wellness, a resort, a wellness space. Again, you don't want to interrupt or disturb the people who are actually going on therapy sessions to a center like this. But very often these sort of holistic wellness centers, they also have a coffee shop. They also have maybe an outdoor seating area. And that is something that really, really connects with Life Gua 8 people. So if you find a space like that somewhere in your area to work in, that would be fantastic. And then lastly, we've got Life Gua 9. Life Gua 9 is essentially anything that's outdoors. So if you have the option, and I know it's not always possible for everyone, because depending on where you live, you can't just be outdoors year round. But if you have the opportunity to be in a park or be outdoor, or maybe just sort of like in a gazebo that's sort of like all glass all around, so you see nature, that would be fantastic to work in. So any sort of outdoor space, or a coffee shop that has outdoor seating, a restaurant or a co-working space that has outdoor seating would also be great. Now, that's a little bit different than the fitness center. The fitness centers, people there also, people with Life Gua 3 could also work outside, but it has to be an area with a lot of foot traffic that's relatively noisy. That will not work for Life Gua 9. Life Gua 9 has to be sort of like a tranquil, nice space outside or in a park that is not too noisy with not too much foot traffic. and definitely not a fitness center, yeah, for Life Gua 9 people. All right. So this is as far as the environment goes. Now you see here also the columns with creation and execution. So these indicate the directions you can face towards when you work in these environments. Now, creation is a yin activity because it requires focus, it requires concentration. So whenever you are brainstorming, when you need to focus on something, when you need to maybe write a business plan or just be creative, create something, then these are the degree ranges, depending on your life gua, that you should ideally look towards or face towards when you're sitting. Yeah, so if your life gua 1, you place yourself in a technology hub, and then maybe you write a business plan and make sure that you sit in such a way that you are facing towards this particular degree range of 277.6 degrees to 292.5 degrees. So you can just use your mobile phone compass and then just check where that degree range is, and then just turn around to make sure that you look or that your face in that particular direction while you are working on your creation. Now, the execution part is a more yang activity. So this is when you're already done with all the planning, you've done all the strategizing, you know what you need to do, you've created a draft, you've created a plan, now you need to execute. So this is when you call up people, call them up for meetings, strategy sessions, you launch something, so anything that is fairly active, that is the yang part of your activity. And in order to gain the maximum suitable energy for this, you make sure that you face in this particular direction while you're doing this. Yeah, you don't have to, but if you can combine the environment with the correct alignment for your activity, that would be perfect. All right. So this is a brief introduction to hybrid Feng Shui and how we're using Feng Shui in a much, much more creative way in period 9 to make sure that we all tap into the best energies while we're traveling, while we are living the digital nomad lifestyle. So this is what you do in essence. All right. I hope this helped you guys. If you do have any questions, as always, just put it in the comment section below or contact me directly. My email address is in the description to the video. And in the meantime, please like the video, share it with anybody who is a digital nomad and would be interested in this. And please also subscribe to my channel so that we can grow this community. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.